Step right up, folks! Your dream come true! Give a wedgie just 25 cents!
Wedgies?
Happy Wedgie Saturday, community. I hope that everybody's having a great day so far. My name is Jactavius. I am your lovely Wedgieful host, and welcome to the Wedgie Club channel. It is so good to be back out here out in these Wedgie streets. I have just been catching up on meetups, getting back to people, and of course just getting back to what we do best, Wedgies. Be sure to follow us on social media so you can stay up to date with what's going on within the community. And if you want to see more content like this, be sure to click that like button down below and be sure to subscribe. Now, I want everybody to close their eyes. It is the day of your official first meetup. You are so excited. You're going through all these range of emotions. You don't know what to expect. Even still, you prepared yourself. You brought as many undies as you could. You put on your best wedgie outfit. You're running it over in your head about the perfect place and the perfect scene and how you're going to get them first or how they're going to get you first. They catch you by surprise, or they leave you hanging in the park after they leave. Or worse, they would much rather leave you undieless. Some of us, this may sound like a dream. We want this to happen. Then there are some of us that this will be a complete nightmare for them if this were to happen. For many of us, we have always been asked, do you like wedgies and what are your limits? And nobody seems to ask, what is your wedgie love language? What is wedgie love language? Wedgie love language is the way that you prefer to receive or express your love, or in this case, your love for wedgies. The initial term love language was founded by Dr. Gary Chapman with the purpose of trying to figure out how do you break down these love languages into something that people can use to communicate with. Eventually, it was broken down into words of affirmation, physical touch, receiving gifts, quality time, and acts of service. The goal of these categories was used to highlight the preferences of each individual, therefore educating us and giving us the ability to be able to communicate these preferences to our loved ones as well as friends, family, even relationships. And wedges. Given that this is a kink and it involves other people, it must have a love language as well. This type of love language can be used as a tool to be able to improve our wedgie experiences through figuring out how do we like our wedgies. So I literally just realized while editing this film that I didn't even tell you about the categories that I've made for the wedgie love languages. So I just wanted to go over that real quick before we jump back into the video. So we have verbal, which means you just like to hear your dom or sub talk shit to you during the act. This falls under words of affirmation. Ritual/meets, which means you enjoy the routine of having maybe to wear a certain type of underwear on Wedgie Wednesday or having to do a meetup on a certain day. This can probably fall a little bit into quality time as well as acts of service. Humiliation, you like being made fun of or exposed. This will also fall under the quality time umbrella. Pleasure, wedgies gonna always bring a little bit of pain, but you rather it feel good rather than hurt good, if that makes sense. Another way of looking at this is maybe playful wedgies. This will fall under the physical touch category. Aftercare, this is an act of service that comes right after the session. Checking in on your sub to make sure they're okay, getting them some ice. This can also apply to the doms too. Gifts, new undies, always a good gift. Pain, you prefer to receive the most devastating wedgie that you have ever been given. This of course falls into physical touch and at will. Basically I can wedgie you whenever I feel like it. This would also fall into physical touch. So this is pretty much how I will rank the categories from most valuable to least valuable. I appreciate you all for traveling with me down this edit tunnel. Let's get back to the video. I have heard of so many times of meetups going bad. I remember my ye old wedgie days when I was doing my first meetups in a new area where I absolutely knew nobody. Meaning all types of places that I had no business doing meetups at. Even though I was a dom, I was very, very terrified of meeting somebody on the internet. My main concern at the end of the day was safety. Yes, even doms can come up missing too. I've met subs that used to freak me out because they were so quiet during the meetup. I mean, like I get submission, don't get me wrong, but I literally just ripped your underwear, bro. Like, how are you not in pain? Like, give me something. Or they were trying to meet me in this secluded location. One dude tried to invite me to this abandoned warehouse far away from civilization, and you thought I was gonna go over there? When I'm a small town boy? Oh, no. Some people do prefer to have meetups outdoors and be one with nature. Some people prefer to be in public, which I do not recommend. And then you have some people like me who prefer to do meetups indoors, away from society, but not that far away from society. You see, whether we are in danger or not, what I found is that environment actually plays a role into our love language as well when it comes to wedgies. Another factor that also plays a role is limitations. What are some things that you are absolutely not doing even if somebody put $1 million in front of your face? Or how about when a dom goes too far, do you even have a safe word in place for when those events happen? Ask yourself, What would make me feel most safe during a meetup? Does the environment matter? Do you meet your dominant sub beforehand to get a vibe check? Granted, of course, there's just basic safety precautions that we should all take, but let's be honest, we're human beings with our own preferences. Some of us legitimately love the risk of danger. Some of us like to get exposed for being the wedgie boys that we are. However, your tolerance on this notion of safety, be sure to be able to answer all these questions, as this is not just about how do you like your wedgies, but how do you like your wedgies safely. Many of us understand how wedgies operate amongst the general public, but do we understand it on an individual level? And why does it even matter in the first place? The reason a lot of us have this love-hate relationship and don't really feel fulfilled when it comes to wedgies is because you have not learned what it does for you. Instead, we cosplay and live vicariously through mainstream media, hoping for the day that you truly live out your wedgie fantasy. But that's just it. It's a fantasy. It doesn't really belong to you. While the interaction might have sparked your interest at first, it is our job as individuals to understand what did that interaction do for us. We must explore these thoughts and emotions of what we like and how do we like it. Deeper than, oh, I like wedgies, but do you like pain? How about pleasure? What matters to you most about getting wedgie? This may sound like a tedious thing to do, but the reality is that everybody does not like wedgies for the same reasons. You know, now that I'm thinking about it, when I used to watch all my TV shows growing up, like Ed and Nettie and Codename Kids Next Door, right? I used to think that shit was fun. I never thought that wedgies were like a painful thing, but if you ask somebody else, they would say that shit is painful, right? The beauty of this is in understanding oneself, you better understand the world around you. In sharing your perspective of how do you like wedgies, you create this space for people to feel seen and maybe even understood. You will become more knowledgeable not just in wedgies, but in knowing oneself. Knowing our wedgie love language will put us on a path towards true wedgie fulfillment. So the reason why a lot of meetups and experiences have been off to a rocky start is honestly because of the lack of understanding and, more importantly, the lack of communication. And many of us might have talked about our limits, but I know for a fact there is maybe a select few of us that might have asked, what is your wedgie love language? Or better yet, how do you prefer to give or get wedgies? Because you see, it's not really just about what we prefer, but it's also about what our partner also prefers. Every meetup is not a good meetup. You gotta look at wedgie meetups kind of like how you look at dates and understand that everybody's not gonna be a good fit for you. And if you know your wedgie love language, you'll be able to express your needs when trying to set up this meetup. You will also be able to detect the red flags in other people. This gonna sound crazy when I say it, but beware of the freaks. Some people may call this kink shaming, I'ma call it keeping it real. The freaks are not the wedgie boys and girls and non-binaries. It's the people who are honestly not really into wedgies, but because sex doesn't do it for them anymore, they have to find something else to be able to scratch that itch. And right now, that is what this is. Not saying those people are bad or dangerous, I'm just saying take it with a grain of salt. But to get back on topic, for the people that are into wedgies, understanding your wedgie love language will give you a glimpse into possible compatibility with the partner. Obviously, as we always know, this is not the end-all be-all to everything. Just because a sub may like humiliation but a dom doesn't mean y'all won't have a good time. But let's be honest, humans are not really the biggest fans of compromise. We like things how we like them. And if we're being honest, we're much more likely to associate with people that we're similar to or that we relate to. Just liking wedgies in a community that also just likes wedgies isn't gonna cut it. If that was the case, all of us would be compatible. The sooner that you understand how do you like your wedgies and why, the better your expectations will be set and met, and the greater experiences that you will have within a wedgie community as well as the world. Love language should not just be exclusive to our romantic partners. These preferences that we have and how we want to be treated show up in all areas of our life, whether it's relationships or it's friendships, even with dealing with strangers. So why would it be any different when we're immersing ourselves within the wedgie community? These preferences that I'm asking you to examine are not new things. They are already living within you. They are just waiting to be explored and better understood. So will you do it? Will you take your wedgies to the next level? Will you figure out how do you like wedgies? More importantly, will you know your wedgie love language? If you have stayed this long in this video, I want to tell you thank you so much for watching this. This is one of my first few video essays that I've ever done, especially on this topic, so I've been very nervous, but I'm really glad to have been able to do this for y'all. I've been literally recording this for about 4 days straight, ready to rip every single pair of underwear off me, just trying to get this shit done. But let this be the beginning to new things coming from the Wedgie Club. What is your ranking of the categories for the wedgie love language system? Comment down below. I'm curious to see who matches up with mine. If there were any categories that I might have missed, please comment that down below. If you have any video suggestions that you would like me to do a video essay on or just another video on, please comment that down below as well. I hope this video comes in handy for any future meetups that you have, especially if you are going to that event that I will also be at. Again, I appreciate you all for watching this video. Please take care, have a great rest of your weekend, and as always, stay wedgied. Thank you all.